All right, listeners, welcome back to the deep dive. You ready to get into some seriously cool motorcycle tech?
Always ready to geek out about bikes, especially when it's something as anticipated as this new Yamaha R9.
So we've been poring over this pre-release article, and it's giving us a pretty good sneak peek at what Yamaha's cooking up for the 2025 model year.
Yeah, and they're not holding back. It
Yeah.
seems like they're really aiming to hit a sweet spot with this one. A bike that's both a blast on the street and a weapon on the track.
That's a tough balance to strike. So how are they going about it?
Well, first of all, let's talk about that engine.
Okay, so 890cc triple cylinder.
Mm.
That's what they're calling the CP3 configuration. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, the CB3 engine, it's already making waves in some of Yamaha's other models, but what's interesting here is how they've tuned it for the R9.
They're going for that low-end torque, for sure. Makes sense for around town.
Exactly. It's all about that punchy acceleration off the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know that feeling when you twist the throttle and you're just pinned to the back of the seat?
Oh, yeah, that's what it's all about. But isn't that going to be at odds with track performance where you need that high revving power?
That's the thing. Early reports are suggesting that Yamaha's managed to retain that top-end scream that sport bike riders crave.
So you get that grunt down low and it can still sing at high RPMs.
Exactly. It's a tough balance to achieve. But if they've pulled it off, it's going to be something special.
That's exciting stuff.
Okay.
Now, the article also delves into the R9's tech package. And one of the highlights is that 6-axis IMU.
IMUs are becoming more common these days.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But what makes this one stand out?
This IMU is said to be seriously sophisticated. We're talking hundreds of calculations per second, feeding data to the traction control system, anti-lock brakes, wheelie control, you name it.
So it's like having a guardian angel looking over your shoulder.
Pretty much. If the rear tire even thinks about stepping out of line, the system can make micro adjustments to keep you upright before you even realize you're in trouble.
Wow, so it's not just reactive, it's almost predictive.
Yeah, that's the level of control we're talking about, and that's what sets this IMU apart.
I'm curious, though, does all this tech take away from the raw riding experience? You know, that feeling of being connected to the machine?
That's a great question. And honestly, it's something we'll have to wait and see once we get some real-world feedback.
Fair enough.
But Yamaha's claiming that these systems are designed to be unobtrusive, enhancing the rider's confidence without feeling intrusive.
Okay, so it's a safety net, not a straitjacket. I can get behind that.
Exactly.
All right, moving on. What about the Y Connect app? That seems to be a big part of the R9's appeal.
Yeah, more than just your standard Bluetooth connection here.
Right, like what can you actually do with it?
Well, imagine this. You're out on a ride, and you need to find your way to that awesome cafe you heard about. Instead of fumbling with your phone, you've got turn-by-turn navigation displayed right there on your TFT dash.
Oh, that's nice. No more taking your eyes off the road.
Exactly. Plus, you've got potential for performance tracking, comparing lap times, even sharing your ride data with friends. It adds a whole new dimension to the riding experience.
Yeah, it's like having a digital co-pilot along for the ride. All right, enough about the tech. Let's talk about how this thing actually handles. The article mentions a Delta-Box frame and adjustable KYB suspension. What does that mean for the rider?
Okay, so the Delta Box frame is a Yamaha staple.
Yeah.
Known for its rigidity and lightweight construction, provides a fantastic platform for sharp handling.
Right, so that's going to translate into a responsive and agile feel on the road.
You got it. And then you've got that fully adjustable KYB suspension. Think of it like this. You can fine-tune the bike suspension for a plush, comfortable ride on the street, or stiffen it up for those aggressive track days.
So you're not stuck with one setting.
Yep.
You've got options, which is fantastic because it means you can really tailor the bike to your needs and the type of riding you're doing.
Versatility is always a good thing. And we can't forget about the brakes. Brembo Style Mists, those are pretty top shelf, right? Oh yeah, Brembo Style Mists are straight from racing technology.
Yeah.
Renowned for their incredible stopping power and precise feel.
So you're not just stopping. You're stopping with style and control.
I like that. And speaking of style, what about those MotoGP-inspired winglets? Those have to be more than just for looks, right?
You're absolutely right. They're not just for show. Those winglets actually increase downforce at high speeds, improving stability and keeping the front wheel planted.
It's amazing how racing technology is trickling down to production bikes.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered the engine, the tech, the handling. This is already shaping up to be quite a machine. But how does it stack up against the competition? The article includes a comparison chart with some key rivals.
Yep. We've got the Kawasaki ZX6R, the Suzuki GSX-R 750, even the Ducati Panigale V2 for those who dream big.
This is where it gets interesting, because not every bike is for every rider, right?
Exactly. And that's what we're going to dive into next, figuring out who each of these bikes would be best suited for. Stay tuned, listeners. We're just getting started. Okay, so we've got this comparison chart pitting the Yamaha R9 against some serious contenders. Let's start with the Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R, known for being a track-focused machine. What are the R9's strengths and weaknesses when going head-to-head with the ZX6R?
Well, the ZX6R, it's a proven performer, incredibly sharp and agile on the track. But the R9 has that larger engine, that 890cc triple, which could give it an edge in terms of raw power and torque.
So if someone prioritizes outright power, the R9 might be more their style. What about the Suzuki GSX R750? That bike has a loyal following, known for being a solid all-rounder.
The GSX R750, it's a classic for a reason. Smooth inline-4 engine, refined handling. A real legend. Where the R9 might stand out is in that triple-cylinder engine's unique character. Some riders find that three-cylinder configuration more exciting, more visceral.
So it's got a bit more personality.
Yeah, I could say that. And when it comes to tech, the R9 seems to have the upper hand with its advanced IMU and the Y-Connect integration.
So it seems like the R9 is a bit more modern in terms of tech features. Now, for the aspirational competitor, the Ducati Panigale V2, beautiful bike, but it comes with a premium price tag. How does the R9 measure up?
The Panigale V2, it's in a different league when it comes to price. It's a gorgeous machine with a potent V-twin engine and top-of-the-line components, but you pay for that Italian exclusivity. The R9, on the other hand, aims to deliver a lot of performance and features at a more accessible price point.
So the R9 could be a more budget-friendly option without sacrificing too much in terms of performance or excitement, but all these specs and figures, they're just one side of the story. It's about finding the right bike for the right rider. Let's imagine different rider profiles. Who do you think each of these bikes would best suit?
Okay, let's start with the ZX6R. This is the bike for someone who lives for track days, chasing those lap times, constantly pushing their limits. They value precision agility, that pure, unadulterated Sportbike experience.
Okay, so the hardcore track enthusiast. What about the GSX R750 rider? What are they looking for in a bike?
The GSX-R 750 rider. They appreciate a refined, almost old-school riding experience. They value a smooth engine, predictable handling. And that sense of heritage that comes with a bike like the GSX-R, they want something reliable, proven, and maybe a little bit nostalgic. They want a classic. No, for the Ducati owner, what kind of rider is drawn to the Panigale V2? The Panigale V2 rider is looking for something special. They're drawn to Italian design, the exclusivity of the brand, the prestige that comes with owning a Ducati. They want a bike that turns heads, performs exceptionally, and makes a statement.
So it's about more than just performance. It's about image and exclusivity. Now let's talk about the Yamaha R9. Who do you see as the ideal rider for this machine?
The R9. It seems to be aimed at a rider who wants the best of both worlds. Someone who enjoys spirited riding on twisty roads, but also values comfort and practicality for everyday use. They appreciate modern technology, the connectivity that the R9 offers, but they're also budget conscious and looking for value for their money.
A rider who wants it all. Performance, technology, versatility, and affordability. But the big question that keeps coming up, can the R9 really excel in both the urban jungle and on the racetrack? Can it truly be a master of two worlds, or will there always be compromises?
That's the challenge Yamaha faces. Historically, bikes designed to be sharp and agile on the track often feel twitchy and uncomfortable on the street, and bikes built for all-day comfort usually lack the feedback and responsiveness needed for aggressive track riding.
So finding that balance is crucial. If the R9 is going to live up to its do-it-all promise, let's dig deeper into that potential conflict between street and track performance. What are the key factors that can make or break the R9's versatility? We've talked about how Yamaha is aiming for this balance with the R9 street-friendly and track-ready. But how do you actually design a bike that can handle both of those worlds? What are the engineering challenges?
Well, it really comes down to finding compromises. They don't feel like compromises. Take the riding position, for example. A track-focused bike typically has a very aggressive riding position, low handlebars, rear-set foot pegs, which can be uncomfortable for longer rides.
Yeah, you're kind of crouched over almost like a sprinter.
Exactly. It's all about aerodynamics and control.
Mm.
But on the street, you want something a little more relaxed.
So how do you make it comfortable enough for commuting without sacrificing that sporty feel?
That's the challenge. Yamaha might opt for a slightly more relaxed riding position on the R9, maybe with slightly higher handlebars or adjustable foot pegs, so you can customize it a bit.
Okay, so give the rider some options.
But they'll have to be careful not to compromise too much, or it won't feel like a true sport bike on the track.
Right. It can't be too soft.
Exactly. The delicate balance.
Yeah.
What about the suspension? How do you create a setup that can handle both the smooth curves of a racetrack and The bumps and potholes of everyday roads.
Good question. Because those are two very different environments.
Absolutely. Adjustable suspension is key here. The R9's KYB suspension, it's fully adjustable, meaning the rider can fine-tune the damping and preload to suit different conditions.
So you can stiffen it up for the track.
Exactly. Where you need that precise feedback and control, and then soften it up for a more comfortable ride on the street.
So it's all about giving the rider options, letting them tailor the bike to their needs.
You got it. And then, of course, there's the engine, a track-focused engine. It's all about high-revving power, screaming top-end performance. But for street riding, you also want something with good low-end torque for better acceleration in everyday situations.
Yeah, passing power, merging onto the highway, that sort of thing.
Right. And that brings us back to that unique CP3 engine.
That 890 triple.
Yep. It sounds like Yamaha is really trying to bridge that gap with this engine design.
Yeah, from what we've read, they've managed to create an engine that has both the grunt for the street and the scream for the track. Be interesting to see how it actually performs.
Absolutely. Once those reviews start rolling in,
Yeah,
we'll have a much better idea.
for sure. But there's one more thing we need to talk about. The rumors about a potential electric version of the R9.
Oh, yeah. Is Yamaha really considering an electric sport bike?
It wouldn't be entirely surprising. I mean, we're seeing this shift toward electric powertrains across the motorcycle industry.
Yamaha's already released electric scooters and bicycles. So an electric sport bike, it's not that far-fetched.
But an electric sport bike, that seems almost sacrilegious to some riders.
Right.
Part of the appeal is that visceral roar of the engine.
I hear you. For a lot of riders, the sound is an essential part of the experience. But times are changing. Electric motorcycles offer some undeniable advantages.
Instant torque, smooth power delivery.
Exactly. And of course, zero emissions. So it's a cleaner option.
So is Yamaha trying to appeal to a new generation of riders who might be more open to electric powertrains?
Possibly. They might be trying to broaden their appeal, attract riders who are environmentally conscious, or just intrigued by the performance of electric motorcycles.
Right. It's a whole different riding experience.
It really is.
But wouldn't an electric R9 alienate the traditional sport bike enthusiasts, you know? The ones who crave that sound and fury of a gasoline engine.
There's a risk of that, for sure. But if Yamaha does go ahead with an electric R9, it'll likely be an option alongside the gas-powered model, so the rider has a choice.
Embrace the future or stick with the familiar.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out.
Well, there you have it. We've explored the Yamaha R9 from every angle. The engine, the tech, the handling, the design, the competition, and even the possibility of an electric version. It's a bike that's generating a lot of buzz, and for good reason. It's packed with potential, and it seems poised to shake things up in the sport bike world.
It's definitely a bike to watch. And I think it speaks to a larger trend in the motorcycle industry. This blending of performance and practicality, tradition and innovation. It's an exciting time to be a motorcycle enthusiast.
It really is. And as always, we encourage you to do your own research, form your own opinions, and most importantly, get out there and ride.
Stay curious and keep exploring. The world of motorcycles is full of possibilities.
This has been The Deep Dive signing off.